Hi everyone, I'm Girish Agarwal and this is my YouTube channel. I recently took an interview of a Hollywood fitness celebrity and just thought to share it with you all. If you find my video useful and informative, please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button. You can follow me on Instagram, link in description. If you want to know the secret of Hollywood fitness celebrity, do watch the whole video. Thank you.
What's up, everybody? Hello, hello, hello. Hey guys, how you doing? I'm actually going to do a interview today with one of my followers, Garish. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Hopefully, I didn't mess that up too much. Waves. What's up, guys? So he's going to join on and request. So he has some questions, and there he is, right there. Hello, everybody. So I will. What's up, Josh?
Hello.
There he is.
Hi, Joy. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How you doing?
I'm great. What about you?
It's a nice day right now in Chicago, and until it starts raining.
Beautiful, beautiful view behind you.
Yeah, I'm actually at my in-laws' house. It's a big running trail and everything back there. So normally I live downtown Chicago, and there'd be buildings everywhere. So get a
Yeah,
little bit of space right now.
yeah, that's great. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to interview you.
Of course. Where are you at right now?
Uh, so let's get started.
Yeah.
For me, the first question I would like to ask you is, what made you to choose your career as fitness?
Uh, as a kid, I was, growing up playing all sorts of sports. So I played soccer, maybe football, as most of the world says. Soccer, hockey, baseball. I dabbled in a lot of things, and I think that I never knew that fitness wanted to be my career until college. I played hockey for college, and I was getting ready
Okay,
to go to law school, and decided that I didn't want to spend another 3 years in college. So from there, I looked into being a personal trainer, and back in 2005, 2006, personal training wasn't necessarily a career, but I decided to make a go of it. So I interviewed with a few gyms in Chicago, and I was living in St. Louis at the time, and I guess the rest is history, as they say.
oh, that was great. Okay. As we all know that you are an author of a book, 365 Days Health and Fitness That Could Save Your Life.
Hmm.
So what are the main points you have focused on in that book? Can you just share some?
Yeah, for sure. So the beginning of the book starts with working about the mindset. So I talk about how if you were to buy a house and you wanted to remodel the house, you need to start with the foundation, and the foundation is a metaphor for your mind. So if we don't have our minds right, you can't do anything. You can want to get in better shape. You can want to have a better body. You can want to do better in business. But if you don't have it up here, it doesn't matter. It like they say you can wish in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up faster, right? So and that's
Yeah.
basically it. So I talk about that and some tools that people can use to get their mind right. So different exercises and writing down positive things in your life and writing down negative things in your life, and then burning up that piece of paper and then focusing on the positive, and setting goals and steps where you want to be. And if that's getting a therapist or a counselor or talking to a friend to figure out everything that's going on up here first, that's the first
Okay.
step. And then it moves into talking about nutrition, which is the most important: nutrition, sleep, recovery,
Definitely.
and then a bunch of different workout tips. And then at the end, there's just a bunch of random things, diet suggestions. I don't prescribe one specific diet for everybody. You don't have to be keto or vegan or paleo. If you feel
Yeah.
good, if you get your blood work done, you look good, you feel good, you're moving around, you're happy. I don't care what diet you're on as long as you're healthy. So
Okay. So you have
that's the
shared your
premise.
story also.
What's that?
Your personal stories in the book. Have you shared them, or it's
Yeah,
just about the? Yeah. Okay. Say.
yeah. I mean, I talk. There's some personal anecdotes in the book that I talk about. And I wrote that book about 4 years ago now. So it's about time for me to maybe start working on another one. But I just signed a deal to do. It's called Pod Courses, where I will be doing 15 to 20-minute long different courses on 20 different diets where people can find out
Okay.
about what that is. So, like I said, what does paleo mean? What does being ketogenic mean? What is plant-based? Who's it good for? Who's it not good for? So that's going to be 20 different crash courses on diet. So I guess that will be the most current research. So I like to look at research and even my own podcast. I like to interview world's top experts. So um, yeah, there's some things in my book that I would probably disagree with right now because the science and the literature has changed, and I think a lot of
Yes. Yes.
people really don't admit that to themselves. They think that one viewpoint they have right now has to be that same viewpoint they have 5 years from now. It's okay to admit when you're wrong in
Yeah.
anything in life. And there were several things that I was wrong on. And every single expert I've talked to my entire career would admit that they've at least gotten some things wrong.
Yeah. No one is perfect. We all know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do mistake and we learn from it definitely.
I'm
So
sorry,
let's
what did you
get to
say?
the third question.
Yeah,
We do mistake and we learn from it. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
So let's get down to our third question. That you are a celebrity fitness expert, you are a nutritionist, you are an TV contributor, you are a model. So having so many things in one single person, so does it get difficult to handle all the things at the same time, or you do it very easily?
No, man, it's tough. It's
Yeah,
it's
because
tough. I counted one time I had 7 jobs, and I have a 2-year-old kid. I have a 2-year-old son,
oh, that's
and a
great.
wife. So it's a lot to maintain. But yeah, it's funny you asked that question because I'm thinking about making a major transition in my career where I need to focus more on certain things. So for a long time now, I was doing training, and then I would do a photo shoot, and then I would fly somewhere and host an event or go on national TV and just spreading myself too thin. So I really believe it's time now, especially with what's going on in the world and with the pandemic and we never knew that the protesting and the riots. I'm sure you've seen what's happening in the States. Never knew that this would happen. So I haven't trained anybody in person since March. And so now
Okay.
I'm just contemplating and seeing like, okay, so should I take a step back a little bit from doing that and focusing more on expanding my media career and doing more of these, pod courses and podcasts. So that's a big decision that I'm going to make, and also sit down with my family and see how I make that. Because for years I was trying to do everything, and I couldn't put all of my focus into one thing.
Okay.
So I need to, instead
Okay.
of 7 jobs, maybe I'll take like 3 or 4 now. But yeah, it's not easy. It is not easy because something's going to suffer when you have that many things going on. It's absolutely going to
Yeah.
suffer. If you're going to school and you're trying to pay your way through school and your family's not taking care of it, you don't have a scholarship. At some point, your sleep's going to suffer. Your grades are going to suffer. Your work is going to suffer. It's just you can't do it all the time.
All the
At
time.
some point, there's a burnout rate, and me having pretty much being forced to take 3 months off of work. I mean, I've done some things, obviously, like virtually and stuff, but it's definitely shed a light on priorities. And I don't know if I will have another opportunity to make a big change in my career besides right now, where I was almost forced to.
But you are successful, man. Yeah.
I would consider myself in my industry very successful.
You're
Yes,
very successful.
I think that success is in what you define it. So
Okay.
for me, when people they'll call me an influencer or whatever, which I hate that word. Who do you influence? If I influence my family and the ones around me, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And people that are like following me, if they actually, take my advice and stuff, that's great. Like, and such as yourself. I love doing that, but the most important people in your life are the ones that are tangible, that are physically around you. So that's my success. After I'm gone, I want people to say, like, yeah, Joey Thurman was my dad. That was my husband. That was my brother. Not like, hey, is
Yeah.
my kid going to really care that I was on TV? Probably not. So he'll care if I was a good dad. He'll care if I was around for him. He'll care if I was at his hockey games or whatever he's playing. That's what's going to matter. So I think people lose sight of that, especially in days of social media. So personal trainer world, yes, I'm very successful. I charge a lot of money when I train people. I train movie stars and all that sort of stuff. And that's great. It is great.
That's really awesome.
But my definition of success comes from my family.
Definitely. So let's get down to our fourth question.
Sure.
It's like, I am myself an athlete. Okay. So do you know a game called as cricket?
Uh-huh.
You know it? Yeah, I'm
Yep.
surprised, bro.
Yeah, I'm
I
familiar. Sort of like a baseball. They skip the ball.
Yeah,
You
it's
got a
similar to
flat
baseball.
bat. I don't know what you call it, a bat, but yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
bad,
familiar.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good news for me because I thought you were not familiar with that game.
No,
So
yeah, cricket's a very popular sport. Obviously
yeah,
not in the States, but yeah, I'm familiar.
but in India, it's a very, very, very popular sport.
Yeah.
So, as an athlete, I want to ask you that now we are all quarantined, right? So we can't move out of our house and go to the gym and work. So
Mhm.
I want to ask you what kind of exercise I could do at home so that my strength gets increased.
Yeah. So if you're looking for strength, okay, so I mean, there's
Yeah.
strength, there's speed, there's power, there's agility, there's quickness. If you're looking to get stronger, and if you don't have weights at home, a lot of holds are great. Okay,
Yeah.
so you know what a squat looks like? So if you're
Yes.
to do a squat and you just hold the bottom of that squat, that's an isometric hold. So you hold that 10, 15 seconds or even as long as you can. Right there, that'll increase the capacity of your muscles to get stronger. So you can hold that and then take a minute off and go back down. Same thing with a push-up. You go down and hold that. What
Yeah.
gets you stronger and also has a hypertrophic effect, so muscle building, is the negative part of the motion. So controlling down what's called eccentric overload. So if you were to do like a deadlift, or let's say bicep curl, right? So if I'm doing a bicep curl and I'm coming up here, this is positive. I want to
Yeah.
control this for at least a 2 second on the way down. That negative portion here. So let's say 1 second, 1, 2, down, loading that muscle on that eccentric
Hmm.
portion will increase your strength more than just going through the motion. So eccentric loading, holding, you could even grab like a carton of milk, water, and you can hold that thing. Okay,
Yeah.
you can just go and hold a book bag or backpack, whatever you guys call it. Like you can hold that straight out. You can hold a push-up position. Get a
Yes.
bar
Yes.
maybe on a door. Go up and hold that. So body weight exercises for you are gonna be very good, and also plyometrics. So like jumping, like
Okay.
fast push-ups where you're driving off of the ground, jump squats where you're squatting down,
Jump
jumping
squats.
up, and landing. So for you, I mean, for body weight stuff and for cricket, like you guys need quick movements,
Yeah.
only a few
Quick
seconds
movement.
long. Do you have
Yeah.
bases? Do you run around bases kind of?
What?
Like
What kind of?
like baseball has bases, right? First, second, third, and home plate. Do you
Yeah,
guys?
and we don't. We have one base only. It's in the non-striker end, from where the bowler balls to the
Uh-huh.
batsman. We just need to run that much. It's around 22 yards.
Okay, so you're running maybe 22 yards. Let's call that, I don't know. Maybe you're running
It will be
five,
around
6 seconds.
20.
How long would that take you to
No,
run that?
it will take around 2-3 seconds. Yeah.
Okay, so really quick. Okay, so you need just
Yeah.
quick.
Not 2-3 seconds. It will be taking around 5-6. I've never measured, so I
Yeah.
don't know exactly.
Well, so if you look at, let's say, a professional football player, American football, when they're doing
Yeah.
their 40-yard dash, when they're measuring them
Okay.
before they go in the NFL. A really fast person might run a 4-second, 4-4, 40-yard dash. So if you divide that in half, 2 seconds, you guys probably aren't running as fast as a professional American football player.
Yeah.
So let's say it's a 2 to 4 seconds. So you're just really quick, explosive movements. So you don't
Yeah.
need to sit there, and your workouts should be focused pretty much around that. Like maybe you
Yes.
do 10-second exercises, 20-second exercises, but for even you, just sprinting as fast as you can or running in place for like 5 or 10 seconds as fast as you can with all out effort. Hello, Patty. With all out effort, that will help increase your sport specificity. Because you don't need
Oh.
to, for you, I wouldn't say go run 2 miles outside. That's not going to do much for your sport.
Yeah.
Usain Bolt's not going to go run a marathon to train for running a 9-second, 100 meters. It's
Yeah.
just not going to happen. So it doesn't make sense. So look at your sport, whatever you're doing, and then there say, okay, what can I mimic to make this as close as possible? And then there are some instances where it makes sense to go a little bit outside of that. So if I was to take a marathon runner, let's go back with that example, they're probably not doing a lot of strength training. So I would do some
Yeah.
strength training with them just to maintain the integrity of their muscle tissue and their joints. But
Okay.
for the most part, for you, if you're just looking for quick explosiveness, so those holds, jump squats, and just quick 5-10 second bursts, that'll be the most beneficial for you. And then maybe some rotational abdominal movements. So when you're going to hit the ball,
Yeah. Cool.
that'll help out as well.
Yeah. So what can we do for strengthen our core? Because our core is very important in a field. So what kind of exercise you prefer?
Yeah, so lots of holds for that. So a lot of people, if they're doing a plank, for example, and they're just on
Yeah.
their forearms, let's say your forearms are in line with your shoulders here, right? Let me make sure I adjust
Yeah.
this. Okay. So if you're doing a plank and your forearms are in line with your shoulders, that's fine. But to extend that lever to make it harder, so you actually engage deep in your transverse abdominis, you actually want to bring your forearms in front of you, right? So this makes it longer,
Okay.
so it makes you longer, so you're forced to hold more. So you're bracing through that. Lots of anti-rotation. So if you had cables or something, let's say the cable is here, and I'm holding
Yeah.
here, my abs are forced to brace against that resistance.
Okay.
And then for you guys especially, then I would take something where if you've got like a bands or cables and you
Yeah.
rotate fast through,
I have
so
that resistance band.
you get that motion. So those resistance bands where quick around and then control
Yeah.
back, quick around,
Yeah.
5-10 of those really
Okay.
quick, that'll help. So holds, and then obviously you want to do some lower back stuff. So just the planks will help that, side planks will help that, and then you can lay on your stomach and do like a Superman where you're coming back almost like a reverse crunch. So you're getting everything back here. I mean, for you,
Okay.
the rep range, 10, 15 reps. When you're doing the rotation stuff, I would do as fast as possible, both sides, so you're mimicking when you're hitting the ball.
Yeah.
That's going to be best for you as far as the sport specific.
Okay. While going back, does I need to go slowly or in a certain pace?
So
While
when
I'm
you're
going
doing the
back with the
rotation,
resistance.
when you're
Yeah.
going around, like you're hitting the ball,
Yeah.
go fast. And
Yeah.
then
But while coming back.
control it back. Yeah. Because
Okay.
you're hitting the ball and then you're releasing the bat. You're not
Yeah.
controlling it back. But as far as you to have the correct muscle synergist, meaning everything working together. So when I'm
Yeah.
doing a bicep curl, my shoulder is stabilizing. It's not just working my bicep. When I'm doing a tricep, my antagonist muscle is on the biceps here. So everything works together. So if you get the muscles working in accordance together, that's going to make your body more efficient. So I would go
Okay.
quick around, then control back,
That's
and then hit different angles too. So you come up high,
okay.
come low to high, because obviously you're not always hitting straight across. Like that ball might be higher, might be lower. So you've got to adjust to those angles. So you want your body on a neuromuscular level, so your brain telling your muscles to fire. This is how this feels. So I know when I've got to hit this ball when it's low, I know to come down and then follow through, right? I know when it's here, this is how it feels. So it's much more natural, and obviously do both sides.
Okay. Yeah, on the other side too, yes.
Yeah.